Yo, what it do, you guys? We are here with the episode. What's up, everybody that's already in the chat? I'm here with my guy Derek from Bring the Juice. How you doing today, my brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Work kicked my butt today, but man, I'm excited to talk some Colts football, man.
Hey, man, I am too. I'm glad that you can make it on. We got some interesting news for you guys today. It should be pretty entertaining. The first thing I want to start off is Carson Wentz. We just got him. They announced it everything on yesterday. What are your thoughts on how that went, and are you excited for next season with Carson?
Yeah, I mean, I got to listen to it a little bit, and it seemed like Carson was pretty excited, about the new opportunity, and it's good to hear that from your quarterback. He was pretty hesitant to want to say anything about what happened with Philadelphia. I mean, makes sense. He left that situation not on great terms, so it sounds like he's really excited to get back into the room with Coach Reich, who he obviously knows very well. So, he seems excited. I'm excited. I mean, we get a new quarterback, and when your quarterback's excited to, start mixing it up with the boys and with your head coach, I mean, sounds like he's pretty invested. So I'm excited for it, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm definitely excited. It was actually pretty dope to see him on the Pat McAfee show just an hour ago. Pretty entertaining stuff, man. So shout out to Carson Wentz, and I can't wait for that to happen. Um, Shout out to the chat. Tino said he just bought his Wentz jersey yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Dope. Spectre said return of the Mac. Hello, how you doing? FIFA said yes, sir. He's agreeing with you. What's going on, everybody in the chat? So next on after that, we haven't made any moves in the offseason to acquire people that haven't played for the Colts already. But one of the biggest moves to me, in my opinion, was bringing back Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack has came back to Indy on a decent deal to agree with the terms. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even say it was a decent deal. I'd say it's a great deal. I mean, honestly, when you look at the numbers, in total, what these guys are going to make this year alone from the three running backs that we know, which is Hines, Taylor, and Mack, are making less than $6 million between the three of them. I mean, that's an insanely impressive backfield for something that owes $6 million. So, that's a no-brainer. It was a really great job that Ballard was able to keep him around for at least this year. I honestly thought that would happen because, I think Mack wants to stay in a place he's familiar with and he knows he's going to get touches. And that way next year, if he stays healthier and he shows he can be a good running back still, then he'll probably get a better deal next year when the Colts probably won't bring him back. He'll get a better deal, can go somewhere, make better money, and somebody will be willing to invest their time into him. But right now, I mean, he's comfortable where he's at, wants to be in Indianapolis, get back to being the way that he wants to be. I mean, that was a no-brainer. For $2 million for a guy that over the last two seasons has gotten 1,000 yards rushing every one of those seasons, that's a no-brainer.
Absolutely, man. I agree with every word you just said right there, man. And I was mentioning the other day, the fact that we got him, Hines, and Taylor is just a power trio. And I said that the fact that you have all these running backs, it's actually helpful for these guys because, the longevity of what they can produce, they're splitting snaps so they can stay healthier with the offensive line as well. So It's all a good idea in my books. Let's go to the chat and see what they're thinking about that. Release me and Marlon Mack for more cap money. Now we got Jonathan Taylor. Yep. Any news on Hilton yet? Nope.
Nope, yet. We ain't got nothing. As much as we wish we did, I mean, we got as much information as you guys do. Honestly, there's not absolutely much to talk about right now. So,
at all, man. Someone said that Tennessee is loading up. What you guys think about that? What up, Charles? About Tennessee loading up, I don't think they're actually loading up at all. I think they lost a lot of big pieces on defense, and they still got some holes to fill. I feel like the Tennessee is just relying on that pass rush and three players on offense. And I don't think that's enough to be successful. I'm not saying they're going to have a bad record, but I'm just saying I think they took like a little step back on what they're thinking or what they're doing.
I mean, they've definitely loaded up on some premier talent, no question about it, in some key spots, they definitely got a hold of some good guys, but like you said, they lost a bunch of their corners. They lost two of their best wide receivers, Adam Humphries and Corey Davis. It's just A.J. Brown over there. Not to mention, you lost your tight end in Jonnu Smith. So, your offense took a step back. Your defense might be okay still, even though you lost two of your corners. I mean, you did get Bud Dupree. That's definitely going to help their defensive line. But, yeah, they still have an issue with the back end of their defense. And they've lost a lot of receiving options. And we've already said how Tennessee sometimes gets to be a little too one-dimensional. Now they're extremely one-dimensional right now because the only weapon they got is Brown, and that's the only one. So, they got some moves to make. I'm sure they'll address the offense in the draft, and there's plenty of wide receivers, low-end wide receivers to try and go for right now. But I mean, yeah, their offense is definitely taken a step back from all this.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone mentioned, he said, who would the Colts even try to sign if T.Y. goes anywhere? Well, that's up to decide. We don't know if T.Y.'s gone yet or not, so I think we'll leave it up to that until it happens. But yeah, I wouldn't try to, predict anything yet because we're still rubbing, crystal balls to keep T.Y. Hilton in Indianapolis. The Bengals traded Ryan Finley to the Texans. Yeah, that was a fire move, dude. He's definitely finna leave the Texans. Kyle Fuller or Dory Jackson? I'm definitely going Kyle Fuller on that one.
Yeah, totally Fuller. I mean, I get Fuller's a little older than Jackson, but Fuller's been a little bit more proven than Adoree Jackson. So,
about the Deshaun Watson case, I won't speak on it because it's an open case, but hopefully everything gets situated with that.
Yeah, I said it in the Colts Brawl chat last night. Like, I'm really hoping that all those women are not, I really hope all those women aren't lying. I'm really hoping, we all kind of saw the initial opening of that lawsuit, and then we all kind of just assumed, wow, that really didn't sound super convincing. And now you got multiple people still coming out. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to let the justice system figure that one out. I hope they get it right. I hope that it's all not true, because if it does, then, Watson's got bigger problems than just not being able to play football right now.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Killer Vibes, what's going on? He said, do you think John Brown would have been good at Indy? Absolutely. I think any wide receiver or any talent that comes to Indianapolis with a good system, I think they can produce. It's just as simple as that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I was disappointed that John Brown went to somewhere for $5 million. I think that if we had known the T.Y. Hilton news earlier, then John Brown was probably going to be wide open to coming to Indy. But I think the Indy's still trying to hold its end out for T.Y. Hilton. I like you said, especially a guy like a John Brown, his play style, which he has the ability to go inside and out, but he's primarily dominant on streak routes and being able to get outside with his speed. And, for somebody like a Carson Wentz who loves to gunsling the ball, I mean, that definitely is a guy that you could definitely see fitting in Indianapolis. So, I'm a little disappointed that John Brown didn't make it, but, I knew he was going to be signed somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Carson Wentz said earlier that he got the playbook yesterday, so he doesn't know anything yet. He said he's not the smartest guy in the world. So, we're going to give him some time on that. We'll let him slide.
I mean, the good thing is, though, Reich has a good amount of understanding of what is good for Carson Wentz. I know Wentz has not been affiliated with Reich for the last 4 years, but, he got him started and he knows what he really likes to do, knows how much he should throw, what kinds of routes he can throw, what his abilities are. So, he can tweak that playbook pretty well, I think, to help him out a little more.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Colts fan 20 said thoughts on Isaac Rochelle. Now, Bring the Juice did upload earlier, so you guys definitely check that out on Isaac Rochelle. Like I said yesterday, I didn't tweet it, but it was kind of like in my drafts. I said pretty much any talent that the Colts pursue to go after with decent numbers or as young, I feel like if you have any type of skill to come off the edge with DeForest Buckner and the rest of that D-line, I feel like you can be successful. We don't need the best talent to come to Indianapolis to actually do something because we're pretty much known for, undrafted prospects or, the ones that don't get high expectations. They seem to produce more anyway. So I'm definitely with this Isaac Rochelle move.
I mean, I don't know how many people in here have seen my reaction from a few days ago on the live stream, but I was venting pretty hard about uh, how there's been lack of push and aggressiveness on the defensive end front from Ballard on the whole thing. And obviously, Rochelle is not a top tier guy. We kind of talked about it in the chat that, he's put up decent numbers for the limited amount of snaps that he's had. So, how much time does he get in Indy? We don't know. We don't know whether or not he's going to start or not. Most likely he's not. But, anytime we know Ballard definitely likes to go depth pieces on the defensive line. So that might all be all this is. But, if you can get solid backups, then, there's nothing wrong with that.
At all, man. At all. I'm definitely with that. Station Inspector said, thoughts on Anthony Walker leaving? I'll go first with that. Anthony Walker is a good locker room guy, good talent. Everyone has their goods and bads, but, he wasn't the best linebacker out there. But he definitely was a dynamic duo to go with Darius Leonard. But to be honest, I think we all seen this coming anyway. We all knew Anthony Walker was going to be back next year. But he went to Cleveland Browns. He got a deal done and he got paid. But best of luck. And it's sad to see him go. But, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's a business. What's your thought on that, Derek?
I'm a big Anthony Walker stan. I mean, I've been on his side every step of the way. I know his weakness and everybody else knows his weakness. And I think everybody has, there's a lot of Colts fans that have really taken that weakness and have tried to discredit him for the kind of player that he is. I mean, Darius Leonard even went on Twitter and saying, if only you people knew just how big he was for this locker room. That's saying something. Darius Leonard, the heart and soul of this team, is telling you this guy was the heart of the locker room. I mean, it tells you something about his character. And I mean, I'll say this, Cleveland got a steal. I mean, a top, I would say probably top 12 middle linebacker in the league for $3 million. That is really good. Walker is definitely a great run defender. I was texting my friend earlier when we saw it, and he said, dude, we got Walker for $3 million. I was like, dude, you got a steal. It's like, I know we did. We got a great run stopping linebacker. I'm like, yeah, dude. I mean, that was perfect. That's exactly right. And, thankfully he doesn't have to go very far. Cleveland's not insanely far from Indianapolis. So that's nice. I'm sad because I really like Anthony Walker, and being a 5th round draft pick and having to come into this Colts defense when it still wasn't good, and to be that piece to help get this defense started the way it was. Anthony Walker was the start of it all. I mean, people don't want to realize that, but he was the start of it all. And it sucks to lose that kind of production, but we all kind of saw that, the snaps were being taken away by Okereke and other guys. We'll have other linebackers to fill that spot. I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, I mean, I'm sad that he's gone, but I'm going to wish him the best of luck, and I certainly hope he kills it over in Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely about to mention Bobby Okereke in the snaps, but you pretty much hit on everything at that point, so I definitely agree with you on that. He will be missed. Good tackler, and a good voice in the locker room, but, best of luck. Hopefully we'll see him at the end when it comes down to it. Someone said, the Dragon said the Colts better not pay T.Y. more than $10 million a year. Well, you're going to have to do something at this point because we need a wide receiver. And, it's more than just what the contract is asking for, because let's be honest, T.Y. Hilton's not going to play another 5 years. I feel like this is more have to do with, after he's done, what it's going to look like when he retires. Because, everything's not promised when you retire. You got to open up businesses and all this other stuff. So I think he just wants to be comfortable post-retirement. How much you think T.Y. should get paid, Derek?
Well, from what we're being told is that Kenny Golladay may be getting paid around 11, 12 million a year. And we've seen the receiver market, really, really low. I mean, nobody's getting anything. I mean, who's been the highest paid wide receiver so far? Hasn't it been like Corey Davis for like 3 years, 37.5 million, 12.5 million a year? And nobody's going to pay T.Y. Hilton that much, at least right now. I mean, anywhere from 8 to 9 million, I think is pretty fair. 2 years, 18 million, probably something what I would probably do.
Yep. Julian mentioned Will Fuller. Don't know. I
Kyle
think he
Fuller or
already.
Will Fuller? I think he said Will Fuller. Will Fuller already got
Yeah,
signed.
Will Fuller's already gone. I'm thinking you mentioned Kyle Fuller, but
Yeah,
if it's
Kyle
Kyle Fuller,
Fuller,
we're
yeah.
all on that.
Man, if we got Kyle Fuller, whoo!
That's the player we need, man. The
That
veteran
is a
leadership,
player we need, bro.
skill, and he can guard the number one. Bring him. But I feel like it's going to be a power move. Killer Vibes asks, who do you think we should sign at left tackle? At this point, we might be getting somebody out the draft at this point.
I think we are. I honestly think we are. I mean, that's been my thought on that for the whole time. I think that we were going to do that. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. D Knight asks, what linebacker should we pick up? I think we're pretty solid on the linebacker position.
Yeah, I mean, we might even invest something later in the draft. I mean, Ballard has had a fair case of drafting some pretty decent linebackers later in the draft for sure. But EJ Speed or Zaire Franklin or even a Matthew Adams type guy that comes into the box, I'm comfortable with any of those guys as long as Leonard and Okereke are the ones taking the majority of it.
Should we get Eric Wilson?
Well, I think I don't know when exactly Eric Wilson's supposed to come back, but isn't he supposed to miss part of this next season because of that knee?
Probably.
Isn't he supposed to? So a 30-year-old left tackle that you would have to sign to a pretty decent contract on top of the fact that you're not sure if he's even going to play week one. I'd rather take my chances in the draft.
Absolutely. You really wanted to get Juju. What are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing here? Get out of here.
And he signed for an $8 million deal. 1 year.
Yeah, he's back with the Steelers. If anyone wants to know, he spent this whole time saying, "Oh, I'm probably not going to be back," just to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming back,"
and taking a pay cut.
And taking a pay cut. He deserves a pay cut after what he's been doing over the last 2 seasons. That man definitely don't deserve it.
That is crazy to think because the Steelers pretty much lost everybody. They pretty much lost everybody.
They've been losing a lot of people. Yeah,
and the only
especially
person
on
got
that
back,
defense too.
Yeah, man. The only thing I can think of is Minka and Ben Roethlisberger that they have that are perennial stars. Chase Claypool too, of course.
Well, I mean, they got you got your main guys in Devin Bush and TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, you got guys at every level that are going to continue to make your defense good. I mean, they're going to be a great defense. They may not be an elite defense this year, but they will definitely still be a great defense. But we'll have to see because their offense still, it struggled all of last year for the most part. I mean, how does them taking a slight step back on defense impact their offense?
Yeah, man, that's kind of crazy. I think he could have got more money elsewhere. The Giants throwing money to everybody. He could have went there.
Yeah.
But Colts fan 20 said Danico was talking some smack about the Colts and how he's excited to face them twice a year. We've seen that before.
Yep. I mean, hey, listen, you felt disrespected by them not wanting to pay you back. I mean, if go get it, man. I'm all for it. Friendly competition. It's just how it is. He's getting paid. He's got no problems.
Yeah, no problems at all. It's all part of the sport anyway. Oh yeah, he was talking about Kyle Fuller. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Any news on Hooker? Do you think he's done it in Indianapolis? To be honest, no news on Hooker. Only thing I see him do is go on Instagram Live, and that's about it.
Yeah, he does a lot of that. I think he's done. I have no friggin' idea, though.
Yeah. What do you think of Andrew Brown?
Andrew Brown. I don't know if I recognize that name. What
if you talk about Orlando Brown, maybe?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't remember what Andrew Brown. I haven't heard that name.
Yeah.
It might be somebody else, though. Ballard's going to get low budget players that will show promise. Yeah, he does that every year. I'm just waiting for something.
Mm-hmm. We're all waiting for something. It's so many nights I go like, man, I hope they get a deal done.
Like, can we get something?
The other night, Rashad was like, just go to sleep. I was like,
Ballard,
okay.
You can sign Fred from the Washington football team. I don't care. Just give me something so I can talk about these things, man.
Yeah,
please.
that's what I'm saying. I was told to go to sleep because I wanted to stay up the whole night just to see if the deal would get done. He was like, man, just go to bed.
I mean, dude, the earliest that we've seen a deal get done so far in free agency was at 5:30 in the morning, two mornings ago when Trent Williams got that giant, massive deal.
Right?
And which is funny too, because it was 2:30 in the morning at there. Like, what were they doing at 3 a.m. in the morning getting the deal done?
That's crazy, man. Richest left tackle, man. Thank God it wasn't us. But on to the next one. Shout out to AEB from the Twitch side of the world. He said, nah, the NFC East is fine. The Giants don't need nobody. And he happens to be a Cowboys fan. Good
you
luck
must
with
be a
you
Cowboys
guys.
fan. This man on Twitch, you definitely know he follows Tim the Tap Man, so that way he can get his Cowboys takes. Bro, y'all are still going to finish third in the division this year. Hope you know that.
Shout out to Dak, though.
The Giants might actually be ahead of them, to be honest. The Giants might actually finish above the Cowboys.
Well,
I'll be completely honest.
Back, you might be right. Then they got wide receivers. All they need to
get
do
a couple
is make
wide
sure
receivers. Their defense is better than Dallas's right now. That's for sure.
They just got to make sure Evan Ingram catches the football because he has a drop history.
Yeah.
The Washington football team is looking good over there too.
Oh my gosh, bro!
They took all of our players.
Yeah, I know. Curtis Samuel and all those guys. That defense is already legit, and now you're just adding more weapons on that offensive side for Fitzmagic. And then you got Fitzmagic. Like, I mean, talk about a great veteran option for your team right now. I mean, Fitzmagic's contagious, man.
Another person that I wanted. And, he's going to throw it up there, especially to scary Terry McLaurin. Woo.
Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, that is a dynamic duo. I mean, you got I know because I watched both of them at Ohio State. I love both of those guys. Those guys are phenomenal. They showed a video of their 240 times at the combine side by side. And it's funny because I think McLaurin finished slightly ahead of Curtis Samuel in the 40. But the funny part is Samuel blew McLaurin out of the water on the first 20 yards. And then it's the last 20 that McLaurin just like blew him out. It's actually incredible.
Shout out to Ron Rivera, man.
Oh, yeah, that dude's killing it.
Absolutely. I really thought the Colts were going to sign T.Y. 2 days ago when Kenny Moore was hinting about it. He fooled everybody.
Yeah, we've been trying to get that scoop too.
Kenny Schefter.
Y'all be tweeting him Kenny Schefter, but this man ain't breaking no news yet. Like, come on.
Man, I think he did that for a follower stunt because he knew everybody was looking for Colts news. Like he don't got a check mark already.
I got the check mark, but man, what good is it to not have a few more followers? Let's go.
Crazy, man. After all that 3 a.m., nah, they knew what they were doing. You just want T.Y. Hilton? I feel you, bro.
They were drunk, though, paying him all that money, though. I mean, look, Trent Williams is one of the best left tackles in the game. I kind of like how they did the contract, though. Did you see how they did it? Did you see how they marked it up?
They had an incentives, right?
Yeah, they what they did was they split the contract in two separate contracts. The first 3 years is like $78 million, which is the majority of it. And then in the third year, after the third year, if they want to restructure the deal based on how they view certain things, then they can cut their losses on some of those. So they're saying, oh, okay, well, if you play the whole 6 years and you keep playing really well, then we'll continue to pay you. But if you start slipping a little bit, then we're going to take some of this money back on the back end of your contract. So
I see that. It
wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
Not bad at all. Shout out to Carson Wentz for actually taking I think he did something to his contract too, right?
Yeah, he I think it was $10 million in cap that was supposed to be a hit this year. He took about half that. He took actually $5 million, so you add $5 million more to the cap space for the Colts.
Nice.
Ain't like we gonna use it though. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Who is your favorite quarterback? You mean all time or right now?
I'm wondering what that. What does that mean? Would that mean
right now?
Might
be Jalen Ramsey for me right now.
Marshawn Lattimore for me. Like me some Marshawn Lattimore.
He could have came to Indy too, but we ain't gonna talk about it.
Hey, we can. There's always a trade available, my man.
That is
Always.
true. That's
And
what I be trying to tell people,
the
man.
Saints got a lot of cap issues, man. They got a chance, man. They can maybe throw a first rounder in there, maybe a fourth or something. We can make that work.
That's true, man. I be reading y'all's chats, man. You know I love reading chats. I read you guys' chats. I read mine. I be seeing the chats on Twitter. Everyone's talking about how we're not making moves or anything. It's like the offseason's not even over yet. It just started. Anything can happen at any moment,
right?
man.
Yeah.
They act like we didn't get the fourth Buckner out of a draft trade. Like, anything can happen at any time, man. You guys just have to be patient.
Yep.
Anthony, what are we doing here? Who is Carson going to throw the ball to this season if Hilton doesn't come back? He acting like Michael Pittman Jr.
there
doesn't
ain't 3 or 4 different guys. Like, I mean, first off, here's the one thing: Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell, if he stays healthy, Zach Pascal, we already know is back, and on top of that, I want to apologize on behalf of all of Colts Nation that I did not bring this point up sooner than what I am about to right now. Anyone else realize last season just how many times the Colts threw the screen pass?
Yep.
You know how many times we did that last season with Hines, Taylor, and now you have Mack to throw into that mix?
Yes, sir.
I mean, think of how many times you can do something like that. The NFL is moving into that era. Like, we're in that where the running backs are utilized in more ways than just running the football now. So all 3 of those guys are now passing or receiving options. I mean, sure, we want to try to get another big name wide receiver. We might get one in the draft. We might still get someone. I don't know. But there are options that Carson Wentz has to throw the ball to. Y'all act like he doesn't have anyone. He definitely has people.
Absolutely, man. We love you, Anthony, by the way, but I just thought that was a funny comment.
Yeah.
I think the wild horse, speaking of wide receivers, I think the wild card might be DeMichael Harris. I think he actually might be the one that gets all those touchdowns on those flat routes or those screen plays or those underneaths because there's so many targets out there.
Yeah, he definitely should be. I mean, how fast and small he is. I mean, on stuff like that, I mean, he would definitely be easy to make a target for.
Definitely. That Ravens game told it off for me, even though we lost. But I was like, man, DeMichael Harris can definitely be a problem if we give him the ball more.
Yeah.
Let's see. Don't remember his name in college, and I guess that's
CFL.
College football. Yeah.
No, that's the Canadian Football League.
Oh, okay. 6'11" and
6'11" as a defensive tackle? No way.
Now I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't know about that. You got to find me a name, bro. Charles, you got to find me a name and drop that name in the chat, bro. I want to see somebody being 6'11" and being a defensive tackle of all things.
Of course, he's a Colts legend.
Of course, T.Y. Hilton's a Colts legend. He's going to be in the Colts Ring of Honor in the next 2 years at least.
Shout out to Torrey Glenn. He's still trying to figure that out. Shout out to Torrey Glenn. Still can't believe Chicago thinks Dalton Vance. Hey, shout out to Chicago. I thought that was hilarious.
They went from Russell Wilson to Deshaun Watson, and now it's Andy Dalton.
Yep.
One of these things is not like the other.
That's insane. Shout out to my cousin on Twitch chat. He said, "Who's your favorite running back right now?" Jonathan Taylor. Not even close.
Absolutely.
Not even close. That second half, Jonathan Taylor just set it off for me.
I mean, outside of Derrick Henry, he's the best running back in the league the last 6 weeks of the season. Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
It wasn't even close. I mean, those two were on an elite level all by themselves.
Well, Carson does have his number, and his number is 2, AEB. Shout out to AEB, man.
And not getting the ball so Carson gets his number. Oh, my gosh, you guys.
Hilarious, man. I love these people. Don't forget about Dez Patman. He might get some snaps. Sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's just see. Pittman gonna pop off. Facts. What up, Chris? Appreciate you for stopping by. I'm trying to see before I ask him another question. Thought on the new defensive ends. We actually just talked about him before you got in here.
Yep.
We actually talked about that too. On to the next topic. The tight end situation. We got Jack Doyle. We got Marley Cox back. Were you excited about Marley Cox returning?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been one of the advocates. I know my buddy Zach Hicks has definitely been on this same train as well, that, it's been almost criminal that the Colts continue to not utilize Mo Alley Cox a lot more often in the passing game than they have. I mean, talk about the step that guy took from the first year or two that he was there to now what we saw this last season. I mean, even with the few catches that he had, really took over a couple of games early in the season. I mean, I really like what I saw from him. And not to mention, he's the kind of tight end that we like, a guy that can block and receive. I mean, that's a guy that I really think we need to continue to try to utilize because how big he is. And I think going forward, that should be the tight end number one. Unless we get somebody big, a bigger name than that, that should be the tight end number one going forward.
Yep, definitely. Shout out to Michael, Coach Brawl. He just slanders Mo Alley Cox so much. So I definitely had to mention it, man.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's hilarious. That episode was just the funniest thing. We should try to get Gerald Everett or Zach Ertz. Well, everybody in Coast Nation is talking about Zach Ertz now that he's available.
Didn't Gerald Everett just get signed to somebody? Gerald Everett got signed to somebody just recently.
Yeah,
we ain't getting Gerald Everett.
You got to follow us on Twitter, man. Follow us and Coach Brawl and Brittany Juice. All of us on Twitter. We'll keep you updated. Indy Sports One. They'll definitely keep you updated on all the targets you want. I'm not sure how to close the day for another tight end. I'm definitely thinking we're probably just gonna get one out the draft. If we're being honest. Hey, my twin is here in the chat. He just got home from work. How you doing?
I see you, Kyle. Let's go, Ohio State. Hey, yes, I appreciate you.
Don't get Derek started. He'll go on this whole Ohio State rant.
Yeah, you don't want to get me started, bro. I'm Ohio State guru just as much as the Colts, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, tell me. That's crazy. After the tight ends, you got the whole offensive line already figured out. Everyone's talking about Braden Smith might be being moved to left tackle or Quentin Nelson to left tackle. It's just a whole bunch of craziness. What do you think? I know you mentioned this already before on podcasts with Coach Law and yourself, but what do you think should be the best option for this offensive line situation to be figured out?
I think the best option is to go get your left tackle in the draft in the second round. I mean, honestly, I do believe that because, look, I know everybody understands that. Honestly, Quentin Nelson and Braden Smith, they could probably play left tackle. I totally get that. I totally get it. I mean, I don't know about Braden Smith. I mean, Braden Smith's never played left tackle before. Quentin Nelson has played some left tackle before. So, I mean, if push came to shove, then Quentin Nelson can move. I totally get that. But my issue with it is I continue to remind people of the same problem, is that you move Braden Smith or Quentin Nelson from their spot. What all does that prove? Okay, so you move your guy, you got your left tackle now. Where's your left guard? Where's your right tackle? And don't tell me that it doesn't matter. It does matter because opposing defenses are going to attack that right tackle that you supposedly put in there who's a nobody, right? So it does matter. Braden Smith being at right tackle, left tackle, it doesn't matter. They're going to attack the weakest side more often than that. So go get a young, inexpensive left tackle so that way you can build them in that offensive line for the future. And then, and I mention this all the time, Marcus, and I'm sure you understand this, is that the Colts love to run several tight end sets, which I would assume they would do with the wide receiver or with the left tackle that we draft. I mean, early in the season, hey, we're going to do a couple game plans where we're going to have a tight end on your side to help out, make sure that you're not getting beat, making sure we're going to be able to run the ball effectively and keep you in pass protection. That's what they're going to do anyway. So don't move somebody and create another hole at that spot. Just draft one.
That's right, man. That is definitely right. Shout out to Nomadic Brian for just popping in. I see one of his comments. You know how it says from push comes to shove. He said if push came to pancake. So shout out to that. I think he was bitching Quentin Nelson. Shout out to FaZe for popping in. How you doing, bro? But I definitely agree with you on that situation. I just thought I think Coach Law brought it up the other day when he had Michael on his show when I was watching.
The Bears just signed Desmond Trufant.
Somebody just mentioned that in the chat too. Well,
Yep.
that's another person gone. I don't think I
Yep.
really wanted Trufant to begin
I
with
don't know if
anyway.
I really wanted him either. I didn't
Yeah,
see any details or anything. But yeah, it's weird. I was
shout out to
thinking
T
they were going to
Handsome.
say Kenny Galladay because I saw it said former Lion something. I was like, oh
My
man.
heart would have broke. I would have ended stream. We got 31 minutes left in the stream. I'm not going to hold them too long. I got stuff to do anyway. But like you said, I mentioned Coach Law and Michael and them on that podcast. He mentioned how good Quentin Nelson is as a pull blocker, and you're taking that from the left guard to the left tackle is just going to mess everything up.
Yeah.
Braden Smith on the right side next to Mark. I love that duo on the right side of the field. I wouldn't want to mess that up either. You want to have a dominant tackle to stay on that side of the field as a tackle. You have Quentin Nelson. You want him to stay at left guard. You seen with Jared Veld here when he came in at the end of the year for the Colts. He didn't even know the playbook. He was pretty much going on hand inside the snaps in the huddle. Quentin Nelson was telling him what to do before the play was called. Why can't you get somebody out the draft to do the
You could
same
get a
thing with
left
Quentin
tackle.
Nelson?
Yeah, you could get a left tackle, a young left tackle to do that. And not to mention, he's going to have a whole off season to figure it out.
That's what I'm thinking. So I was like, why not go to the draft and get to one? There's plenty of talent in there that can produce just as good as Jared Hill, and they don't need experience. You just need a good guy like Quentin Nelson that's going to teach you the ropes and be successful with it. So, hey, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's all a matter of you moving somebody does not help us because all it does is create a spot from that position that you move the guy. And
Exactly.
who knows? Is Quentin Nelson actually going to be as good of a left tackle as we say he can be? Sure, he could probably be good, but I mean, is he going to be great? I mean, he's already elite at his spot. Braden Smith, elite at his spot. Why would you want to change it? Just fill the hole where it's at. Don't change it and hope that it works out.
That's the issue. I agree. D has to say, "How did Wentz do with Pat?" Oh man, you missed it, man. It was a hilarious episode. It was so
I didn't
funny.
Get to watch it.
They meshed so well, man. They meshed so well. It was like he just fit perfectly. And he actually was at the studio with Pat McAfee sitting in the chair. So
nice.
It was a good time. Yeah, you guys are gonna love it if you haven't checked it out. Let me see what else. YouTube is awesome. Davenport. How about Julian Davenport from Miami? Yeah, he just got released, didn't he? I think he's
available. He just got released.
Yeah.
Has played in 24 games and has given up 16 sacks. Not a good number.
Yeah, we don't give up sacks that often, so I wouldn't want to do that.
Braden Smith gave up 0 sacks in 16 games this season, so you know, he's got quite the jump on Julian Davenport. I'll just say that.
Absolutely, man. All right, now we talked about the offense. We got 20 minutes to talk about the defense. I think that's a formidable time. So, on to the defensive side, pass rush. You know, we got Defoe. Archie went to the Titans. And now we're left with Benego and Teray. What are your thoughts on the pass rush that's left? And who do you think we should get if you wanted to get somebody?
I am not confident at all in the defensive ends that we have currently. I mean, you know, Tyquan Lewis and you want to go ahead and show that. I'll wait.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Frosty for the $2 donation, man. He was one of the first ones that ever popped in my channel when I started uploading, man. So shout out to him, definitely. That's cool. Man, long time. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, I am not confident in a Tyquan Lewis or Kamoko Teray end spot right now. And you know, even if we keep Justin Houston, that still doesn't help me. All I see is a bunch of inexperienced and still potential wise good, but I don't really see a lot of the great potential yet. And that's my problem is, you know, you spoke so highly on this defensive line being the key to this thing running forward. And, you know, you got your defensive tackles that you want, but now you got nothing on the end. And that's what really upset me about this whole thing is that there were so many good guys out there to potentially get. And, you know, every one of them just slipped right through our grasp. And a lot of them just were not a lot of money. And it upset me that, you know, we let a contract, a little bit higher of a contract, ruin the potential to potentially make this defensive line one of the best defensive lines in all of the NFL. And, for as far as I can tell you, I do not like this defensive end class coming into the draft. I really don't like it. There's a lot of guys that I think are good players, but not a lot of them that are going to come in day one and just do what Chase Young did. There's not a lot of those.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, man. It's definitely a toss-up when it comes to this situation. Even Robert Mathis, he's putting all his money in on Teray. So, I mean, he better get to work with Teray. We've seen them work out together. He was teaching him. But that Bills game, it didn't really prove anything at that point. So, hopefully we figure that situation out. But definitely. New defensive end does not seem like it's an upgrade from what we had. That is true.
Yeah. We'll have to see, though. You never know. He's been really he's not being used a whole lot. So we just gotta see what he's got.
Okay. He said we need to get Azeez Owari in the draft. That guy's a beast. No doubt him and Buckner together. That's if he's available in there. If he's available in the draft, man, because it can go any way. You guys seen what just happened with these free agency players. We had a bunch of people out there on the list, and they never came to Indianapolis. So you guys got to keep up. Charles says, sorry, guys, he is not current. He did play in the NFL. How tall is he, though?
He was 6'11", apparently.
Sheesh.
That is way too tall to be anywhere in the NFL. There's no guys that are 6'11" in the NFL. There's a reason.
He said we need to get Jalen Phillips. Hey, man, we'll figure this situation out. I commented on the video earlier, and I said, in Ballard we trust. And then somebody responded. He's like, are you sure about that? I was like, okay, let me correct that. In Ballard I trust. So it was funny.
In Ballard I trust. Yeah,
I was in your comment section, and they were like, are you sure about that? I was like, no, you're right.
Yeah, you can't always speak for a lot of Colts Nation when it comes to this time of year. I'll tell you this, if you had said that 2 weeks ago, then yes, everybody would be in agreement. But
yeah, man.
But Jalen Phillips, that's a name that might be one of the only few names that I would be intrigued with going with if we decided to trade back a few picks and get somebody else there. That's one of the few guys that I'd be okay with because Phillips is a beast. That dude's a big son of a gun. I mean, I think he's 6'5" and he's like 270 pounds, but he is all muscle. I mean, that dude is massive and he's an athlete. So I think he's just very raw. And, I mean, you can work on that stuff, I mean, you can't teach size and athleticism like he has, but you can definitely teach somebody how to be a better defensive end by using his hands more. But
absolutely. D-Knight asks, who's the new defensive end? We don't have one yet. We're still with Ben and Kamoko. So at this point, we don't have a new defensive end yet. Crazy Blade said, I am a Chargers fan and you're going to like Isaac Rochelle. Well, shout out to you for joining, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So after the defensive ends, we go into the linebacker position. We just lost Anthony Walker. We talked about him earlier. Are you fine with Bobby Okereke and the Darius Leonard combo?
Yeah, I mean, it's been effective for the most part throughout the last 2 years. And, we expect Bobby Okereke now that he knows that it's pretty much his job now. I mean, I would expect him to take full reins. And, Okereke's been a good linebacker, not been great yet, but he's been good. And we know Darius Leonard is the maniac for a reason. So, I'm excited for it. I really am. I just don't know. I don't know exactly what Eberflus is going to run with this defensive scheme for this year. It'll be interesting to see. I'm wondering what they're going to do in 3 linebacker sets. But, yeah, I'm excited for Okereke and Darius Leonard to be the main guys this year. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what it was. Yeah. See, he's not even going to play, guys. Honestly, Zach was telling me that I don't think that he's even going to start. I don't even think he's going to even make the roster is what people are telling me. So, I haven't even talked about it because I don't think it's even worth it. So
yeah, that's what he's talking about, chat. Andrew Brown.
Yeah, that was it. I haven't talked about it.
I already knew what you were talking about, what you're saying. Yeah, shout out to the Magic Brian. He said, we also know Ballard may trade down 21 for more picks, so second round options are more likely. You know how that goes.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of defensive ends that are going to fall into the second round. guys that may not be the elite of the elite, but there are going to be some guys that will still be some good playmakers in the second round. So
shout out to Let's Talk 716 Sports, man. He's a good Bills fan. I appreciate you. He put me on Rant and Ron. Shout out to Rant and Ron as well. All those Bills Mafia, we appreciate you. He said Okereke would do it. Is Eberflus staying? Of course he is. Resign Hooker? We don't know. What do you think of Tenon? That is a
Passing gone. Passing gone is his
Passing
name.
Gone. The K is silent. Wow, shout out to that.
Yeah, K is silent. I have to keep reminding all of you of that. But I haven't seen much on him. I'd have to look back at the film and everything. I mean, from what I hear is he'd just be another depth piece. I mean, I'm not wanting a depth piece. I'm wanting a defensive end that's going to strike fear into the heart of every offense that we face, man.
Derek, what did Rashad say? Breathe. Anywhere to TY? Not at the moment, Nomadic. Not at the moment. So after the linebackers, bitches, we go to the corners. We still got Kenny Moore, those guys right there. Yep. No news or update on Xavier Rhodes yet with that contract, but it looks like we're pretty much going to be probably bringing back T.Y. and Xavier Rhodes at this point. I'm not confident on it. Don't quote me, but it looks like it from my perspective. I'm not an insider. I'm a fan. It looks like we're going to bring both of them back. What are your thoughts on the cornerback position for us?
Well, I mean, if we did get Xavier Rhodes back, that'd be great. We saw what he was able to do last year, and he was a very good a very good cornerback for us. Obviously had his weaknesses, but I mean, he's a veteran guy, played really well, and I would like to keep him because honestly, right now, we really don't have a lot of great options at the cornerback room, at least right now. I mean, obviously Kenny Moore is legit. He's the best nickel guy, no question. I'm not even worried about Kenny Moore's ability, but I mean, I'm just talking outside corners in the sense of, Rocky Sin has obviously had, a lot of people catch on to how he plays, and he's going to have to really start picking it up on how to fix his game. And, outside of that, TJ Carey has been okay. He's not been a great starter, but he's a good depth piece. And then we don't know if Isaiah Rodgers is even worth putting in at that corner spot yet. We don't know. A lot of people are intrigued by that idea. And Marvell Tell, who we saw did really well in 2019 at the end of the season, obviously decided to forfeit this last season and opt out for obviously everybody knows what happened with all these players opting out. And he's deciding to come back this year. I don't know how much he stayed in shape. I don't know how much he's done in his off time when it comes to work. But, there's not a lot of experience in this cornerback room right now and a lot of great experience. So still really looking for that number one guy, honestly.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Definitely looking for that number one. Rhodes come back. We'll try to get another one after that. I'm down with that move. I'm definitely in on the Isaiah Rodgers to corner sweepstakes. I think that Bills game in the playoff kind of showed you the potential of what he can bring. He was a decent corner in college as well. I just think he needs to be more on the field other than special teams.
I think that, the one thing that's really great, I think the one thing that's really great about him is the fact that, for somebody that has that speed that he has, I mean, people don't understand how important that speed is for a corner, because the great thing is when you have a corner that may lack a few fundamental things in that secondary, his speed helps him adjust to anything that goes wrong. So say he gets off on a bad start, right? And the receiver burns him off the jump, then he has enough speed to be able to catch up to that route. Because you saw when he nearly picked that off in the Buffalo game, Stephon Diggs had him beat the whole way. And then that last little bit where Isaiah Rodgers was able to catch up, I mean, that's elite level speed there. I mean, that guy is able to do that. He's able to play a lot more with a lot more cushion because he has that great get off speed and he has the ability to adjust anytime that a receiver gets him in a bad spot. So, might be a possibility, might be something to try out.
Yeah, that's true, man. Eddie James said, what about Marvel Tell? He's been working out with Darius Leonard. I mean, workouts don't really go out that far. You got to produce on the field. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, exactly. We can work out all the time. I mean, Carson Wentz is working out right now with Pittman and other guys. That don't mean nothing as long as he don't produce on the field. So
Yeah, man. Let's see how it looks when you got somebody coming after you. Let's see if you get the
yep,
same
yep,
ball
yep,
off.
yep.
He said, we really want Rhodes back so other teams don't offer him money. Oh, okay, no bad. I get what you were saying at that point. You guys think it's a possibility that that Ballard would trade the 22 pick for Marshawn Lattimore? Well, that's on you, Derek.
Wait, what was it? I missed. I'm sorry.
You mentioned Marshawn Lattimore earlier in draft picks. Leo asks, you guys think it's a possibility that Ballard would trade the number 22 pick for Lattimore?
Yeah, that number 21 pick. Oh man, I would love it. I'd love it. I'd love it all the time, man. I know that Marshawn Lattimore is not a great zone corner. That's not really what he's known for. But when you want to talk about a guy that can mirror the best wide receiver and take the majority of them day in and day out, that's one of the guys that can do it. And for a first pick to get one of the best corners in the league, that's totally worth it. That's totally worth it.
Facts. The fact that you guys got that thing going on in the chat and I'm clearly ignoring it, I'm not even gonna go with that. Hey Sarah, how you doing, Sarah? Don't worry about that. On to the next thing after the corner thing situated. But yeah, Lattimore would be nice and handy. But you got the safeties. That's the last thing. Special teams already good. We ain't got to worry about that. Even though Rodrigo need to get his consistency up. But you got the safeties. You got Star Rising and Julian Blackman. You got his guy next to him. What do you think we should do with Malik Hooker? Should we bring him back or should we try to get one out of the draft?
I think we'd probably just do better with just drafting one later in the draft, to be honest. I mean, Malik is a great athlete, no question about it. It's been really unfortunate that, he's just never been able to really stay healthy. It's really unfortunate. But, in the system in which we like to play our defense, he is not a great safety for this scheme. And the way that we like to be aggressive in tackling and be aggressive with downhill cuts. It's just not something that Malik Hooker is really good at. I mean, he would be better in a system that allows him to free roam in the backfield, watch the quarterback, and go make those big plays when somebody's going deep. But yeah, I don't believe we should do that. I see a lot of people saying Jacoby Stevens. Yeah, I think that's one that honestly I think Ballard might go for later on.
For sure. Jonathan, it's all good, man. That's how the chats work. I mean, it's all love here at this side. It don't really bother me at that point. But yeah, man, I'm definitely with the drafting another safety to back up Julian Blackman because he is the star now, in my opinion. Kari Willis is a dog. How do you feel about that position? Shout out to Frosty for another $2 donation, by the way, man. Appreciate you.
You talk about Kari, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the improvement that Kari Willis made from year 1 to year 2. He became a much more efficient tackler in the games. And also, he actually improved his coverage a little bit better too. Had a couple interceptions this last year, had that, obviously the game sealing interception for a touchdown against the Raiders. And, he transitioned really well. He played a lot better. I think it also helped having Julian Blackman back there, knowing he had somebody to help his backside. I think he could be a little bit more aggressive in the front end and be a little better. And like I said, for the first 7 or 8 weeks, he did not miss a tackle. I mean, he was very, very effective when tackling somebody. So that's what we need out of our safeties, to make those plays. And I really like it. Him and Blackman in the back there are really, really good.
Hey, what up, Views? We talked about Phillips earlier. We're definitely in with him if we was to get him out the draft. But appreciate you for stopping by. Shout out to Christian Harris for stopping by as well. There's a good question. Now that we're done with talking about the coach, you guys can start asking us questions now before we got 5 minutes left, so you can ask us questions. One of the first questions is, who did you want the most out of free agency? I'll let you go first.
Aquara was a big name that I really wanted. And then, Either Corey Davis or Curtis Samuel were one of them that I really would have liked to have seen come into a Colts uniform.
Yeah, the only player I really wanted, even since the offseason started, was Kenny Galladay. That was the only wide receiver, the only person I really wanted to go all in for the Colts because I just feel like he would have meshed well with what we got over here. I was definitely in with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys can ask maybe a few more questions. I give us 4 more minutes, and then I'm gonna let Derek go on off to the sunset, kick his feet up after a long day of work.
Oh man.
Would you trade the 21st pick for the Vikings edge rusher and Daniel Hunter?
No.
Nope.
Would not do it. I like Daniel Hunter. I think he's a good player. Would I invest the number 21 pick as a sure thing? No, he's had some injury problems, and on top of that, there's been some people questioning his motives on how he handles his business on the field. So, I'm not with it. I'm not with it unless I know who I'm getting with that 21st pick. I'm not investing it into that.
Mm-hmm. Did you already answer the Zach Ertz thing? Did you want Zach Ertz in Indy?
I mean, if we don't trade for him, then yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to trade for him. Why would I want to trade for him?
Could we get Ryan Kerrigan? Absolutely we can, because he is still available out there on the market untouched. Mm-hmm. He is still available. I am definitely in with getting Ryan Kerrigan at this point because we don't get anybody else.
Yep. Frosty, I see that question, bro. Don't.
Who would you rather? What? Frosty, what are we on?
Rosie O'Donnell, just for the fact that I feel like if I did that to Hillary, that she'd probably have me assassinated afterwards. Who knows? I don't know.
Goodness.
I know how the Clintons deal with their business outside of places, so
Shout out to Indiana Sports Talk. You just got here. How are you doing, my friend?
Man.
You are 3 minutes.
Bro, you just getting out of school at 5:00?
Sheesh.
5:00.
Hey man, I tell them when they ask about the missing stream, I said get your schoolwork done first. If you miss it, you just have to catch the playback or wait for another time. Man, there's always another time.
Catch me tripping, thinking I'm gonna be at school until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Hell with that.
You gotta tell them, man. You gotta live stream. You gotta be attended. You can't do your schoolwork right now.
Yeah, right. You gotta set your priorities straight. Okay. Ain't like they teaching you anything anyway at these schools anymore.
I mean, the fact that we have both of them, I don't think that's really a real question.
Rather have Blackman or Marlon Mack. Well, I'd rather have Blackman because, Blackman plays a much better position for the success of a team.
He's a dog, man. He's just a dog. The
unsung hero of the team.
Yeah. I'm about to answer that, but I think Julian Blackman's production actually helped Kari Willis become the player he is. I think they just mesh so well together, and it boosts both of their confidence in that backfield. I love it.
Yep.
Who's going to be the unsung hero of the team this year? DeMichael Harris.
Okay.
I'm with it.
Okay. I'd probably say Paris Campbell, to be honest. I think Paris Campbell comes back and stays healthy. I mean, people are forgetting what that guy can do. Honestly,
little birdie just told me, of course, he would say that because he went to Ohio State.
Yeah, sure. Y'all keep saying it, and then when eventually it comes out and I'm right, then y'all are gonna be saying you're sorry for doubting me. All right.
Yeah. It's okay. You did your homework and you don't want to do it over the weekend. That's what I used to do. I try to get it done today, so I
never did that
myself.
I never did that. I wish I would
do it on Sunday.
Yeah, I'd always do it Sunday when there's a Colts game on and I can't watch it. Well, here's the thing: from where I lived, I didn't get a lot of the Colts games. So anytime there was actually a Colts game that was actually televised, I would actually be able to watch it. My mom would let me watch it and do my homework afterwards. But yeah, I hated that. I should have started doing it Fridays. But then again, I had football on Fridays. I played football in high school. I played football on Fridays. I think my mind is on homework. Heck no.
Right.
I'm playing football, bro.
He said, "Hey, what's up? What's up, Bars in the Tuck?" He said, "How y'all doing? Look up, Derek. The sky's still there. I'm good. Patience." He
He
said,
likes to troll me a little bit.
"Oh."
He does.
He said, "I hope Campbell's finally has his year. I hope so too, man." Rhodes or Will Fuller? Ugh, that's a tough one. Um, you can go first.
Wait a minute. What was the question?
Uh, Xavier Rhodes or Will Fuller? I think that's the question.
Or
If you have
I
to
think
choose
it's
one.
Kyle Fuller that he's
Oh, Kyle
that
Fuller.
he's
Okay.
everybody keeps getting the
I
wrong
don't know why
Fullers
that
here,
is.
man.
Y'all confusing me.
Y'all confusing the hell out of this man. Why you guys got to do that? But
That's a tough one.
that is a tough one because they're both former All Pros.
Mm-hmm.
They're both around. They're one's 29, the other one's 30. And both were pretty good this last year. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either one of them. Honestly, if do I have to pick? Do I have to put myself on the spot? Okay. Fuller.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Fuller too, so you're not alone, man.
All right.
Yeah, you're not alone. Shout out to my guy Raris on the Twitch side, one of the nicest people I ever met. Shout out to him. It's time for him to be lost. Let's see. Somebody asked when did you become a Colts fan? I'm pretty sure that's since you started to watch football. It had to be forever.
I mean, it pretty much was. You know, my dad grew up, or my dad was a big Peyton Manning fan, and you know, we watched football games there, and '06 when they went to the Super Bowl, I remember I watched that with my family and friends. So I think it was the first time that my mom actually let me stay up till like midnight to watch a football game. So, you know, I was certainly happy about that one. But yeah, that was the first time I became a Colts fan, was that.
Shout out to Stephen Lee. He said Xavier Rhodes. Hey, we're not wrong with that. You're not wrong with that pick at all, man. It's definitely a toss up between both of them for sure. But yeah, we're gonna give you guys maybe one more minute to choose a question for us, for me or Derek, and then I'm gonna let him walk off in the sunset. He finished all of his water. Legend.
Almost. Bro, legend. I gotta drink at least one of these a day, man.
Legend. I got the mini one for me.
You gotta drink.
Why do you laugh like that?
You gotta drink like 20 of those, bro.
Yeah, see what happened was, right? There was a deal, and then they were like, there was a cheap deal, so I got like maybe like two of these, like two big quarts. So I just been downing these like every 5 minutes, bro. It was a good deal. I had to get it.
How much?
It was like maybe 2 for $10.
Two of the big jug.
Big. It was like a pack. It was like a pack of these. It was like a whole pack. Maybe it come in like 24s.
Okay.
So I
guess
got
it's not terrible.
Yes, it's not terrible. I mean, it's still small, but you know, I got the big ones in there.
Yeah. I just find this is a lot more conventional than to just buy like a million of the small water bottles. I can just refill this up anytime that I want to.
Right. So. Very convenient. Look at my twin laughing at me. He was there. You don't laugh because you know it's an embarrassing moment. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Rares, the last question of the day. He asks, "What's your favorite Colts moment and not the Super Bowl?"
Okay.
For both of us.
I'll take a little trip down memory lane. So I think this is a common answer for a lot of Colts fans, and that was the Colts comeback victory against the Chiefs. And here's why.
Yes.
Because I was watching that game and I saw the first half and how it was going, and I said, "Oh, well, there's no way the Colts win this." So I left the house and went to because I was still in high school during this, and I went to a girls' basketball game at our high school. And halfway through the game, my dad texts me and says, "The Colts won." I'm like, quit trolling me. This isn't funny. I'm not trying to deal with that. Said, check ESPN. Checked ESPN. Indianapolis won. I'm like, I cannot believe this. I can't believe it. And then I went back home immediately. I said, screw the game. I'm going back to my parents' place to watch this. And I'm losing my mind. And for the next 6 hours, I rewatched that game 3 times from that second half on. That second half, I rewatched it 3 times just to enjoy the moment.
Shame on you.
I was just like, wait, what the heck?
Shout out to the latecomers. We actually did talk about Rocher earlier, even though they did upload it. Well, Cody did. We talked about it earlier in the stream. That was probably like at the beginning. You wish we still had Walker. Taz, stop making fun of me. So yeah, man, it was actually a good stream today. I appreciate you for stopping by, Derek, and spending time with me. I appreciate you
Absolutely,
so much.
man. Absolutely. Have me on more often, man. I enjoyed talking about Colts football, man. Give me anything.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely will get you on more often.
Absolutely, man. We Colts podcast. We need to stick together, man. We need to produce content together.
You are absolutely right about that. Okay. It's not working. Okay, but I'll figure it out. But until next time, this is yours truly. This is Coast Talk signing out. And Derek, bring the juice. Peace.